Hey everybody, welcome back to Planetozoid. So today's video, it's going to be a piercing video. I'm going to be talking about the pros and cons of having a tongue piercing. So, I've had this piercing for, I want to say 3 years now. I've had it for a while. It's actually my favorite piercing out of all my piercings that I've ever had, and it was also the easiest. So I decided to keep it while I retired a few of my other piercings. I said, let me just keep this one. So yeah, I used to have like 2 nose piercings here or a septum piercing here. I got the Medusa here, but at one point I had a Gestrum piercing. If you don't know what that is, so a Medusa piercing pierces like through the top part, like on top of your lip, like the skin on top, but the Gestrum pierces like through your lip. So I know it sounded like it hurt, and actually it did, but it was still cool to have while I had it. But anyway, today is about a tongue piercing, so that's what I'm going to tell you about. So I got a few cons and a few pros, and I'm just grabbing my little notepad here so that I can look down and refer to it. I try to keep the pros and the cons the same amount. So it looks like I got 5 pros and 5 cons, which probably sound about right because, like I said, this piercing is not that serious. Like, it's really easy to deal with. And like I said, it's my favorite piercing. So I'm going to start with the cons first, just to get the negative stuff over with. Before I get into that, I do want to just give a quick overview of the process. So number one, always make sure you go to a reputable piercer, and don't do this at home. I mean, if you're good enough, and whatever, I don't know. I just don't recommend it. Anytime I got my piercings done, I went to a professional piercer, period. I don't try this stuff at home because with some areas that you pierce, especially something like your tongue, you can cause problems in the long run and possibly permanent problems. So something as complex as the tongue, you should definitely not pierce it yourself. And I will get more into that into the video. So the process when you go to a piercer, they're going to first check your tongue to see if the anatomy is right. Like, some people have tongues that are too short, they won't be able to do it. And some people have tongues where there's a vein that go directly in the middle. They won't be able to do that either, or else your piercing be mad crooked. But they'll be able to check for that kind of stuff, and they know what to look for. So if you can get your tongue pierced, they're gonna ask you to hold your tongue all the way out, literally all the way out, because they got to get your tongue. And they're gonna take a pair of clamps. At least mine did. I've seen some that did not and some that did, but mine did. He had a pair of clamps and held my tongue, was looking at the bottom for the veins and everything, and then he stick the needle through. So that was pretty much it. It was fast. He knew what he was doing. It did hurt, but it didn't hurt terribly. If I had to do a pain on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest, I'll probably say that the pain was maybe a 6 or a 7. It did kind of hurt, but right after he was done, it settled really quickly. It did hurt to stick my tongue out and stuff, because I was already ready to be but it did hurt to do that, so I had to wait to do that. But that's pretty much the process. So into the cons. So looking down at my notes here, the first con is pretty much the first thing that happens when you get your piercing done. It's going to swell. Now, everyone's tongue is different. Some people's tongues swell more than others. Mine wasn't the worst swelling, but it was a swell enough to where I had a lisp when I talked. And the very next day, because I got this done while I was in college, the very next day I had a presentation I had to speak. But you know what? I didn't care. I got my tongue pierced and it was awesome. So yep, I took the list there, and if anyone asks, I'll just be like, I just got my tongue pierced. So I didn't care. But yes, it does swell, and it is highly likely that you will get a lisp for a couple of days. So be ready to talk funny. To reduce swelling, all I did was just drink a lot of soft, cold things. So, smoothies, ice, cold water, things like that. And I did eat lightly for the next You can probably do it for the next few days. I was extra cautious, so I did like the next couple weeks. I was just eating pretty much light stuff. So yeah. And while we're on the stuff with eating, highly recommend don't eat spicy stuff while you have a fresh piercing in your mouth. It is going to burn a lot. I have not, but my piercer was telling me this and it completely makes sense. I also recommend, this is up to you, not to eat too heavy for the first couple of days, like a burger or things where you have to do a lot of chewing and moving your tongue, because yeah, it does hurt. I was doing a lot of drinking out the straw, eating with a spoon, like just trying to be very cautious. If I did eat like a chicken sandwich or something, it wasn't spicy and I would take like small bites. So definitely watch out for that. Like I said, the first con is lots of swelling. So you gotta be careful how you eat, the way you talk, and just, you know, baby it and take good care of it until it goes down. Swelling typically lasts probably a few days to a week, not even long. So, I mean, you can do that. You can handle that. So, my next con is if you don't go to a professional, it can hurt really, really bad. And it can mess up your tongue. So this brings me back to the beginning of the video where I was saying that the piercer has to check for the anatomy and everything. That's why I don't recommend you piercing at home, because some people's tongues like have a certain anatomy where you should not stick a needle through your tongue. All I was going to do is just bleed a lot or something, you know. So just like I said, go to a professional. I can't stress this enough. I'm begging. Go to a professional. But yes, it can hurt depending on the person, and it can mess up your tongue depending on the tongue. So yeah, that's another con. Now, my third con is also stressing back to what I said in the beginning of the video, is you may not be able to even get a tongue piercing because of your anatomy. So if your tongue is too short, they most likely will not do it. And if you have like a certain tongue anatomy, like, I don't know, the vein in the middle of your tongue or something, they most likely probably won't do it. They don't want to hit a vein. So yeah. Okay, so this may be a con for some people. To me it wasn't, but I see how it can be. So when you first get pierced, they're going to pierce you with a really long bar. At least they should, because your tongue is going to swell. So it needs enough room on that bar for the swelling. If you get pierced with a shorter bar, or change too early to a shorter bar, and your tongue is swollen, it might start sucking in that bar and trying to eat over it. Yes, our body is so amazing and does a lot of stuff. Your body is living, and it will do whatever it can to get rid of that foreign object or whatever, even if it grows over it or something. So take the long bar. You'll be okay. It's only temporary. But for some people, it can be a con. I personally enjoyed my long bar, and even way after it was healed, I kept it in there. I just thought it looked awesome to me, and it showed more, which, you know, I want my tongue piercing to show. But anyway, like some instances when I'm chewing food or something, I might accidentally bite on that metal bar, and sometimes it will hurt just for a second. But yeah, that could be a con for some people, but it's only temporary. And then my last con that I have on my list is it can cause oral problems in the long run. And that's what any type of oral piercings that you have. There's a possibility that you can get, you know, issues with your teeth or your gums or anything. So that is one of the risks you're taking when you get oral piercings. But the good thing about piercings is, you know, if something's wrong, take it out. It ain't like a tattoo is permanent forever. You got to pay to get extensive surgery, unless you did something to it to make you get surgery. But most of the time with piercings, you could just take them out. So with that being said, I guess that kind of ties back to my last con when I was talking about the low bar and eating. So definitely be careful, because even with the shorter bar that I have in now, sometimes when I'm chewing and I'm not thinking, I might bite on the ball. And if you bite hard enough and you have that metal ball in there, it might can chip your tooth or something. So definitely be careful with that. I've even broken a ball before. I had an acrylic ball and I was just chewing away, and I felt something like crack hard. I got so scared because I thought, oh my God, did I crack my tooth finally? Oh no. But it was a ball that cracked in half. So I checked my teeth and they were okay. So I was lucky. I typically like to have acrylic jewelry because, you know, it's a little bit less hard than the metal. The metal definitely, like, when you bite on it, it hits your teeth. Like, oof. And then there are some people who also rub their tongue piercings like against their gums a lot. So eventually your gums can start receding and stuff from all that rubbing with that metal. So definitely be careful. That's a habit I had to tell myself don't do. Do not play with your tongue piercings. Leave it alone. Don't be rubbing it in your mouth. I don't want issues. So yeah, definitely be careful when you get any type of oral piercing because it's a possibility that, it's all that rubbing on your gums and teeth could cause issues. So yeah, that's all the cons. So we're done with the negative stuff. We're going to the fun, positive stuff. So my first pro is that it looks cool. I think it looked awesome. I've always thought that it looked really awesome. Um, I don't know. I just decided to get one. Like, I don't know. I didn't have a particular reason. I just thought they looked cool. A lot of people always mention, oh, when you're having, intimate times that it does something. Me personally, I didn't care about that, and that's not why I got it. I got it because I just thought it looked really cool, and I don't see a lot of people with tongue piercings, even though I know a lot of people do, but the people I've been around, I'm pretty much the only one that do all the piercing stuff. So yeah, it looks really cool. The second pro I have is unisex. So a man will look good with it. A woman will look good with it. It works for everybody. So I say go for it. I've seen men with it. I've seen women with it. We both look good. So the third pro is that it's easy to clean. When I tell you this is the easiest piercing that I've ever had, like it's so easy. Actually, all my oral piercings are the easiest piercings I ever had. All I did was use Listerine mouthwash to clean it. Some people say, no, don't use mouthwash with alcohol in it. Me personally, I didn't have an issue. Now, I do recommend when you first get it done, if you are using, just the regular mouthwash, water it down a little bit so that it doesn't burn really bad. Because I messed up and thought, okay, my piercing is good enough, and I used just like regular mouthwash, then water it down, and it burned. So definitely for the first, I don't know, a couple of weeks or something, water it down a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit, so that it's easy, to swish around your mouth without burning your piercings. I didn't have any problem using Listerine. I still use it to this day. I didn't have any issues at all. And I made sure, especially when you first get it done, make sure you clean it after everything you eat. I don't care if you're drinking just a smoothie. I had a little thing of mouthwash with me, and I would just swish it and find somewhere to spit it out at. And yeah, so make sure you're keeping it clean. And that's for any piercing. Any piercing can get affected at any time. You can have a piercing for 20 years, and something can happen to it. So just get in the habit of always keeping your piercings clean. But luckily for the tongue piercing, it's easy. Mouthwash, brush your teeth, you're good to go. So the next pro is that it is also easy to heal. When I tell you I didn't have any issues with healing, it was great. In the very beginning, because I was still trying to learn about it, I thought that my tongue was getting messed up because at one point it was cool, but then it started just hurting. And I think what I was doing was playing with my piercing too much and leaning it forward like this. And it started making like a little crease in my tongue, and it was like burning for a few days. So I had to just basically like leave it alone and stop doing that. And then like it went away. At first I was going to take my piercing out because I thought, oh my God, I messed up and I hurt myself. But no, just like anything with your tongue, if you're always, moving it around and moving it forward, there's a possibility that you could split your tongue just a little bit. And I think that's what I did. So all I did was leave it alone. And that helps. If you can get in the habit of not playing with your tongue piercing and leaving it alone, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I forget it's there sometimes. And then the last pro that I have is that it is a variety of jewelry. It is so much like jewelry you can choose from. I don't wear everything because some of it look uncomfortable, to be honest. Like if you go into Spencer's or something, they have some that's shaped like a dice or a pill, or they have different shapes, but it kind of look uncomfortable. I think those are something you wear for like a party or something. They also have vibrating tongue piercings. I always wanted to try that, but I don't know. I just haven't. But they have a variety of jewelry you could choose from with metal and acrylic and even plastic. So, I mean, and say give it a shot. Like, just see what works for you. I'm happy that acrylic works for me because that is all I wear. All the fun looking jewelry is like acrylic. So, yeah. I know today I got on something like plain, but it's still like a fun color. So, yeah. But let me sit my tablet down. But that's it for this video. Like I said, it's such an easy piercing. I've had mine for a little over 3 years. I definitely enjoy it and still do. And keep in mind, if you take it out, because of like what your tongue is made of, it can close up pretty fast. So learn how to change your jewelry quickly. And I mean, for me, I had it so long, I can go a little while, but not too long. My tongue was still close up. And I don't feel like dealing with that because when you put the jewelry back in and like that little top layer start closing, you got to push it back through and it hurts a little bit. So I say just keep it in, leave it alone, and keep it pushing. But that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Definitely if you have any questions, let me know. I'm not a professional piercer, but I do enough research and had it long enough and seen enough to know like how to take care of it and what to tell people so they can take good care of it. And I mean, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more content. I will have a few more piercing videos coming up. And yeah, thanks.